that, you get slapped. Hey, yo, D, what's that? That's my black shirt. You mess with that, you get hurt. Hey, yo, D, what's that? Those my black pants. I knock you out if I get the chance. And then he pointed at his feet like, D, what the fuck are those? My crowd with fucking bananas, man.
Yo, let me tell you something, man. That's ill how, you know, people can look up to us as their favorite rappers, but we still will remember play by play what the fuck somebody else was saying.
Yeah. Yes,
That's
sir.
the beauty of hip hop is, and like me, you know, I've always looked at artists. I've always paid homage to the pioneers. I've always, when I see them, no matter what, I don't care if I got the #1 song in the country, I would jump out the car and be like, yo, Melly Mel, I love you. Yo,
Word.
Mr.
Facts.
Yes, I love you.
Yep.
And it's not taking shots at this generation, but I think that's the difference between our generation and this generation. So like we did.
It a buck. I'm gonna keep
yeah,
it
we
a
did
buck.
fully
I
loaded.
run into some of these new cats, and when they run into me, they always pay homage, bro. They may not do it on records or ask brothers to do records with them, but when I see them on the one-on-one, it's always like a quick dap, and they keep pushing, or you know what I mean? That's just me. But that's just me. I don't know how other brothers' repertoire or what their interaction
you know me sometimes when I do like the fully loaded concert, y'all was in there too.
Yeah.
I be walking through niggas. I don't really know who all these young kids is.
Me neither, brother.
So,
me neither.
The ones that say what's up, say what's up. The other one, you know, I don't really know. You know, I'm just walking through. We're going to get to the stage, rock the crowd, get our bag, come up out of there.
Right.
But
trust me, they see you. They see you. They don't even say nothing, but they see you. Trust me.
Yo, Matt, they know what's up. Yo, Matt, one of my favorite records of all time. You probably one of the only people, well, besides Jay-Z, now that I think of, they got a duet with Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make it hot. Niggas won't even stand next to you.
Fact.
Snoop Dogg on the check-in. Snoop.
What up, dog? D.O.double-G.
Snoop on the check-in.
Snoop.
Rivera. I mean, Planet Earth is on the check-in right now. You got Method Man. You got Joe Crack. You know, this big. So how did that come about with you connecting with Big to do that song?
Shout out to Tracy Waples. That was Tracy Waples' work. She's the reason I even got signed to Def Jam. I owe her a lot of gratitude and respect, man. I'm gonna give her roses while she can still smell them. She came and scooped me up because at this point, you know, Wu-Tang was bubbling, and RZA, being the chess player that he was, he seen how hot the track was that I was on. Not meaning the music, meaning my career. And he didn't want me doing any songs with any outside people whatsoever. We had love for these niggas, but we was trying to keep the money in-house. We trying to build something. So Tracy come and scooped me, and I had already liked Big, and he had approached me outside the Muse. Yeah, it was the Muse. Yeah, he had performed that night. I think Yo-Yo performed that night, and we performed. But yeah, he asked, you know, and I remember my boy Ruckus had told me, I'm scatterbrained right now, but my boy Ruckus told me, if you ever do a song with this cat. And he played that song, Me and My Bitch. It was a promo. But I had already heard Biggie before that through Dan Smalls, who gave me the Uptown MCA CD soundtrack for Who's the Man. And he was on there with Party and bullshit. Exactly. Right? So I was already a fan. So when Tracy came and scooped me that night, it was no question I was going to do it, but it was sneaky. We rode out to wherever. I think it was Daddy's. I'm not sure. We was in some studio. Easy Mo B was there. Puff was there. Me and Tracy. And I remember the atmosphere was so cool in there. It was so cool. Me and Puff, we was even playing Torture, going back and forth and shit. It was a nice night, man. And contrary to what everybody think, Biggie wrote his verse right there, and I wrote my verse right there. Wasn't no off the head shit. It was straight, you know, bars.
It was bars. So you mean pen and paper?
Yeah, pen to paper. But then his verse changed. The verse that's on the actual LP is different from the one he wrote that night. But if you Google it, I guess they got that shit circulating now. It's a whole different verse, or the reissue put out the original verse on there. So yeah.
Man, you know, the thing about Big, man, he came with such a like hand puff. Remember they used to have those picket signs, those
Oh yeah,
bad boy picket signs.
Puff was a
And
genius.
their movement was so crazy. And to see you on that song with him was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And I got a similar situation. So, you know, I come from digging in the crates. And shout out my brothers down
Yeah,
there,
facts.
Joe AG,
All right.
Big LOC, Buff.
Yeah.
And when LL and the Trackmasters asked me to get on our Shot Show, because, you know, I was Fat Joe Underground, you know, the crew didn't necessarily want me to do the song. They was like, yo, we fuck with L. L's the man, but, you know, we just keep it digging in the crates.
Right.
And I remember I was like, for one, L's my idol. And for two, I was like, yo, I couldn't miss this opportunity. Like, LL Cool J was going 4 platinum and shit like that. Like, I was
right.
like, yo, I got to come up. Like, let me come up. And
Yeah.
thank God I did the record. Like, you know, you're big. Y'all got like a monument in hip-hop history.
That's definitely a staple in hip-hop right there. The what? I mean, and we came up with the hook right then and there. But Big was so ill, man. Like, you know, not just for writing the verse right there in the studio and all that shit, and you know, putting out the LP that he did, but his compromise with Puff, because I'm pretty sure you could tell by his second LP that Big was on that, but he had to do his first LP the way he did it to appease Puff, who's a smart brother, to get him where he needed to be. And it was like, now I got these niggas, I'm gonna do it like this now.
I'm gonna tell you some crazy shit, Neff, right? Because I finally got around to starting to write the Fat Joe book. Finally, after all these years, I never wrote a book.
Crack.
And I just got to Don Cartagena, my single that I had Puff on. And as I'm telling the story in the book, it's bugged out because Big had told me he was going to do a song with me, right? For my album, right? So when I went to Big, Big was like, yo, I'm not disrespecting in no way, but he told me, yo, you know, Puff blocking. You know what I'm saying? Blocking. I told him, he my brother. You know, me, Puff, and Big, we family, but he was like, yo, Puff blocking, Joe. You got to go talk to him. Like, you got to you gotta step the Puff because he acting funny, whatever. So I said, I know where Puff going to be. So I walk up in there. I got my attitude. I'm on my Joe Crack shit. So I go in the club. I see Puff. I'm, yo, Puff, let me talk to you. Right? So Puff like, all right, what's up, Joe? And I'm like, yo, man, Big said he going to do a song with me. You blocking it.
I love it. That's what's up.
And that's it. So I said, yo, you blocking this shit. So the nigga Puff looked at me, right? And what's crazy is Puff's tough guys was my guys. Von Zip, Wolf. So all these guys that really hold him down, they're my guys.
Right.
In the heart, like, so they look at him like, you know, don't front on Joe. Like,
this I do.
Me, he says, yo, look, right now it's crazy. That was when Biggie was like 1, 2, and 3. So he was like, right now it's crazy, but I'll get on any song you want. I'll get on the song. But, you know, I'm working on Big's second album. Please, I'll do the song.
Yeah, to be focused.
And that's how we put Puff on Don Cartagena, my single Don Cartagena. So that was like a political shit right there. Redman, one of the best lyricists,
if not the
best.
Right.
Period, though.
Yeah.
So, like, I was there. So, like, I was there when Redman was doing shows and the whole fucking crowd had tissue in their nose acting like the Redman. Fuck you, Redman. And all that. Yeah, yo, Redman, get off that old Puff smooth shit.
Right.
Yo, and
he's still like that, focused. I love that dude, man. He worked. That's what he do.
How So if you talking about RZA, you had to escape to do the song with Biggie. How did you and him become like partners? You became the dynamic duo.
Well,
Redman and Meth. How did that come about?
that was Kevin Lyles at Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? He had the bright idea of putting us both on a tour together, Month of the Man. Now, Redman being who he is, a real G, because he could have said no, you know, and that would have been that. But he was gracious enough to let me go out, us together on that tour. And the whole time, it wasn't no tour buses. It was 15 passenger vans, but it was just me, him, Shanita Floyd, and the driver. And we was going state to state. And back then, you had to freestyle at every in-store. Some of y'all young dudes ain't got to go through that. We had to go to in-stores, all kind of craziness. You had to freestyle all night and all this craziness. So in the midst of this, Doc, he like, yo, we need to do this song together, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And we used to toy around with little hooks here and there. So I had to sneak off and do that shit, too.
I told a story the other day. I think it was to the Dream. Shout out to FanMio, FANMIO. They sponsor the show every single day. That's where you connect with your favorite rappers, athletes, artists, one-on-one. Now, I told a story I want to see if you remember this. If you don't remember it, you can say, fine, you don't. Right. But I remember when we was in the ATL back in the days, they had like Jack the Rapper or something. Yeah. And we was in the front freestyling. Me, you, the whole world, everybody was out there from the school at that time. And a nigga walked up with a red bandana with 2 guns in his hands in front of the hotel. I don't know if you remember this, but I'm going to tell you who. So we all looking like, who the fuck is this? And he's like, yo, Crack, what up? But he still got the shit. So we looking at him, and he lowers the shit. It was Tupac.
Wow.
You was there. You was there. You was in the cypher. You was there, man.
I missed it then. Damn, you know, I used to blow. We was smoking dust.
That's the first time I ever seen Tupac. I ever met Tupac was there. And after that, I met him a bunch of other times. Right. But that was the first time we was all out there. I remember the girl who used to sing, Snoop is on here. You remember the girl who used to sing all the Death Row's in the house.
Jewel. That was her name. Jewel.
Like that. Jewel. She was hanging out with us. She was hanging out with us out there too, singing that shit. We had to sing that shit over and over again. She over there. Death Row's in the house. God damn. Right.
Those was the days, boys.
So that's what happened. So y'all went on tour, and you and Redman, y'all just clicked up so much that y'all said, "Fuck it, let's make music together."
More Doc than me, because I still had that stipulation with RZA and them. You know what I mean? It was more or less like keep it in the family, this, that, and the third. And anybody know me, I'm very loyal to the crew. You know, it's like, yeah. But I had to sneak off and do that shit too. We went all the way to Long Island. We did it in Mirror Image. Tommy Uzo, rest in peace. He just passed away, I think, yesterday or the day before. Brilliant engineer. Google him. He's done millions of records for everybody, from Michael Jackson to Redman and Method Man. A lot of people, man. He's gone now, though. So I had to sneak off and do this record with Redman too. And who knew? The thing done turned into a movie, a TV show. You know, we got a platinum record out of it. It's just a blessing, man. I love that dude.
Different kind of energy. I love Redman too.
Word.
You know, I gave Redman my demo.
Word.
Yeah, he came, you know, I was still in the streets. I made a demo with Diamond. So Redman came to perform at Club 2000 in Harlem, uptown, Washington Heights. And I went around the back. And when he came out, I was like, yo, my man, let me holler at you. You know how niggas do to us.
Yeah.
I played him, he sat right there, and I played him my shit on the cassette. And he listened. He gave me love and all that. And then, you know, he
never hit you back.
He remember that shit, though. He remember, like, nah.
I love
Redman, Redman, he's one of my favorites. I say, to Cal, your solo album. right?
Yeah.
And when I was listening to Tikal, I felt like the music was changing. Like it wasn't like on some just straight Wu-Tang. You know, when even now, if I hear a new beat right now, I know that's that Wu-Tang shit. Like right now, some producer come play me some shit, I know that's Wu-Tang style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the Tikal album, it felt like you was trying to change like the sound. Like maybe
Yes. Yeah, but what happened was that was by default because RZA had lost all his data in a flood. So we was basically doing shit on the fly while we were on the road promoting the first album. So I was in studios from New York all the way to San Francisco and everything in between. Just, you know, nights when dudes was after the show, you know, they was doing what they was doing. I was in the studio writing, creating. Got it done though. Got it done. And that in my opinion, in hindsight, when I look at it, that album was more of a vibe. It was more or less like people really believed what I was preaching at that time. It was a whole different style, and nobody was doing what I was doing at that point in time. Because you remember, I just seen a funny video just now. This girl was like, what 90s rappers used to do, and they was doing the, you know, the leader of the new school bop, the East Coast stomp. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Killing us with that. And then I looked at my videos, and I never did it, son. Ever.
You had that hop,
that bop.
And what made you throw the shit in the eyes in the video? The shit.
I ain't want to be nobody's sex symbol. I got, you know, it was getting to a point where, nah, real talk. It was getting to a point where.
Hey, listen, we know you a family man, but the ladies love meth.
I get that, but when you up there with your crew and you know y'all hardcore, and it's like you getting a lot of love from everybody in there, but when the ladies start screaming, it's like, dang, I'm trying to be cool up here. What y'all doing?
You try to be hardcore. You don't want to be the
Word.
You ain't want to be the LL or the crew. You want to be the Method Man, Tikal.
You know what I mean? But you got to embrace all that stuff because it makes you who you are later on. You know what I mean? And that goes a long way.
You know, there's nothing LL could do wrong in my eyes. I remember seeing y'all was at the Palladium and y'all was rocking. It just came to my head. I remember one time Wu-Tang was just killing. Y'all was killing up there. And LL came and stood on stage with y'all. He had the big fur on. And he never moved. He never, he was just standing there with the big fur. Y'all was killing it. And I was just like, oh shit, they got LL standing up there on stage.
You're talking about Idol, bruh. Like, and since that day, I've been friends with LL, man. For real. And I'm gonna put this out there right now. I got to do this Smith record with him and Will Smith. They got to do this record with me. I don't even curse in my rhymes no more, so I think I can get a green light on that one. I'm going to put it out there now. Clifford Smith, Will Smith, and James Todd Smith. Let's go.
I think that sounds like a combo.
You know what I mean? For real.
That sounds like a smoker.
For real. And Will got bars. Niggas slept on Will Smith. Will got bars, see?
I always thought, I love Will Smith to death. Like, I feel like that's hip-hop royalty. That's a different type of a level. But I always thought Rakim wrote Summertime. Here it is, the groove, slightly transformed, just a little bit of end in the norm, something with it. Every time I heard it, I always felt like Kim wrote that.
It might have been the inspiration
like
for
Ghost
it too.
wrote that. Like, I don't know.
I'm saying. But his first line had Smooth in there, and who was the smoothest at that point in time? Rakim. So Rakim probably inspired that flow. Some of your best artists, some of your favorite artists done jacked flows and ran. Remember DOS Effects? Everybody was doing DOS Effects to the point where DOS couldn't even do it. Right. And DOS was killing it. It's just the people.
Out the sewer.
Right.
Like, now, let me tell you something. You had the eyes. I was with the army jacket. Nobody came out the sewer. Like,
nobody
came out the fucking sewer. Hey, yo, man, that was their introduction. That was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
That was hard as fuck. They came out the sewer.
They guilty of that 90s dance, though. They was doing the East Coast stuff. They was doing that.
Styles
this shit
Effects, man.
here.
I remember I got gas when they said, Joe, in case you didn't know, the flow was fat like Joe, with a hey, on the to the hip, the hop, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh
That's the
shit.
joint right
Every
there.
time that shit came on, I got gas. Let me ask you about that All I Need, You and Mary. Crown the best, the greatest collaboration, you know, it's crown the best.
Mary's an institution. For one, she ain't that shit, but she didn't have to do that. Like, and for her to jump on that record, Puff to engineer that shit, and for RZA and him to collab like that, especially in light of everything that I told you prior about us spreading love with other artists and things, like for them to come to all that was big. So it was meant to be, and it's definitely an experience because my shows went from a bunch of dudes in the front because that was that bring the pain, release your doubt energy. Soon as that All I Need came out, bro, it was like that thing switched, and it was like
that shit was a different vibe.
Yeah, it definitely did, man. But I love that record. I love what it stood for. Black love always, for sure.
Yeah, man, that thing right there, that's forever.
Yeah, it is.
That's a different type of thing. And Mary, you know, she the queen. You know, my sister, I love her to death.
Yeah.
And but I remember it wouldn't turn off. Like it would like if I went to a club, it's like you would hear it 10 times in one night, 20 times. Like
Wow.
it just wouldn't come off.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah, like I knew the party started when I heard that shit. Like when I'm walking in, you know, because I partied a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I moved out to Miami partying. You know what I'm saying? And shout out my brother Raul. He know. And we was in the club 6-7 days a week if we wasn't on tour. And when that bitch came on, that's when you knew, yo, party has started.
I was never really in the club where they played a hit record of mine. It was always after the fact because I was always in the studio working on the next joint, working on the Wu-Tang album, working on the solo joint, working on the Me and Redman joint. The only time I really got to enjoy a record where I was in the club and it came on and people lost it was the Rockwilder, that Black album. I was like,
different.
yeah,
Shout out to Rockwilder.
we got one. We got one.
That shit was like, that shit come on in the club. So
Yeah.
they used to play that, and they used to play that Rockefeller joint that said, Mac come through on the club with that thug shit. Real deep on the up with the thug. You know how I be. Or how VIP rolling up the B.I.G. So
yes, sir.
those shits was coming back to back in the club around that time.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Rockwilder, man, one of the greatest producers.
For real. Shout out to Rock.
Of all time. And
we need a battle. Well, I can't have him battle E Double, but Eric Sherman got to battle somebody. I need to hear those E bangers. There's a lot of joints out there that E produced. People don't know Eric produced.
Just like music. And what
Dave,
happened?
Come on.
What
the Dave
happened?
Hollister shit.
You
All that
stay
shit.
there. Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go to the verses. You're
right.
the only Wu-Tang member I seen in the comments when RZA was going in. You the only one. I asked Ray the other day, how did he keep his composure? Because that's your guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, that's why I say I won't battle nobody or I won't. You know, I know it's a celebration. Swiss Timberland, they made something incredible right now for the Corona. It's the best shit that's happened to IG. I mean, how did you feel before Primo and RZA battle? Did you feel like, holy shit? Like
I was psyched. I was psyched for it.
7:59,
you know what I mean?
how did you feel? 7:59. The battle started at 8.
Yeah, my underarm started sweating and shit. I was ready. I was like, okay, it's about to go down. Let's see what happens. And, you know, during the battle, I was just having fun and stuff. You know, there were certain records Primo threw on, and I was putting up comments like, you ain't produced that shit, nigga. Stop lying. Yeah. Him and RZA, that was a great battle. That was dope for hip hop, man. We need more
That
of
was
those.
phenomenal for hip hop. That was
Yeah.
phenomenal. And that's the shit. I was just like, oh my God. So I told Ray, I said, yo, Ray, I seen you in more comments in the Teddy Riley Babyface battle than in the RZA Primo. That boy Ray was all in there like, yo, Teddy, hit him with the club joint, Teddy.
Cause that's Ray's style right there. I should, man, I kid you not. When we was on the road, Ghostface or Ray, they would always play 60s, 70s, doo-wop, soul. There wasn't no hip hop in there. It used to drive me crazy.
I love R&B too. I'm R&B in my soul. So I know Ray did that song dedicated to Marvin Gaye. Ray loved, he loved that R&B shit. He loved that R&B shit. Me too. I love it. I love it too. I think
Chef also.
One of the coldest roles you ever played in your house, in your life. One of the realest. That belly, boy.
Yeah.
That rolled Dolo from state to state.
That's Hype Williams right there. Because, at that point in time, a lot of us had worked with Hype, and he was just one of us. So he was so comfortable to be around. So when that thing was like action, it was action. You know what I mean? And
it wasn't even like acting. It just felt like it's a masterpiece. It's a hip-hop masterpiece, that movie.
Well, it was a lot of room for ad-libbing and shit like that. You know what I mean? And it was good. It was good for the moment because, like I said, a lot of that shit that Hype shot, he was doing without the licensing, and the producers was like, we're shutting it down right now. And, they got mad because DMX tore up, his pit bulls tore up one of the trailers. It was madness, that whole shoot. And for him to still get a movie out of that and people call it a classic, hats off to Hype Williams, man. Hats off to Hype Williams.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the most underrated movies of all time.
Actually,
it's just, I think his bar was, it's never been a guy who put out a first movie that the bar was so high for him because he was shooting all these $1 million videos and everybody, whatever. But that shit is like, damn near like, that's like Scarface and Belly, and it's there. City of Gods. It's certain movies that you can watch at any given. What movies you been watching lately on Netflix? Now that we're in quarantine.
Sheesh. I watched that Kareem and Coffee.
Oh, you watched it? I've been scared to watch that movie. You like the movie?
It go there a couple of times, but Taraji is like, she feel like she part of my family and shit. So I'm gonna support whatever she in, and they killed it. It was funny as hell to me, brother. I liked it a lot.
All right, my shit was what's the name of that movie, man? Extraction.
All right, I heard about that. I might have to check that shit, bro.
Nah, B, that's John Wick on steroids.
Word.
Nah,
yeah, I like
Extraction.
I like Chris Hemsworth. Word.
Yo, listen, that Extraction is serious. And I know, but maybe the people don't know, but I feel the same way. When I do stuff like this, I do it for the people. Everybody's stuck at home. But at the same time, it's just a natural transition that shows growth. And the way I look at shit like this, what I'm doing, and it's like NBA, NFL players, they get to retire and then become commentators. And because they went and they played chips, and you got Isaiah Thomas. So why do we like Charles Barkley and Shaq so much and Kenny? Because they played the game.
Right.
They was in the game.
So we can respect what they say.
Respect their wisdom of the game.
Yeah.
So I do shit like this because it's almost like commentating. And I got tired of seeing people do shit like this and was changing the narrative and doing goofball shit. Yeah. And I said, shout out to the Drink Champs. I am the first guest guinea pig on Drink Champs ever. I've never seen a guy use me and start making me tell him stories that I could have died if he would have played the whole real Drink Champs. And I gave him like DMX stories. He was like, Nori was like, I need that shit. I'm telling him all type of shit I would never tell nobody.
Right.
I walked out of that shit with anxiety. My head was hurting. I was like, oh, shit. Man, I'm gonna get killed after this.
Oh, he's crazy.
You know, Nori had me going, but
Yeah.
well, you know, well, Nori obviously we wasn't even talking about Nori with that, but when I was looking at certain documentaries, all type of shit, and I was like, yo, man, they not really bigging up our people the way it is, and a lot of times the facts was wrong. Like,
Yeah.
it was shit I knew, and I'm there looking at the shit, and I'm like, yo, this shit, they lying.
They
Like, no, I swear to God. It wasn't about me. It's just me being a hip hop fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me being a hip hop fan, I'm like, yo, these niggas lying.
Right.
And so that's why I started doing shit like this. Also with the acting, we love acting. And yo, let me tell you something. You take it serious.
Yeah, I do.
I loved you in Deuces. I love you in everything, but you take it serious. Another guy I like a lot is Mos Def whenever he acts.
Yeah. Mos is trained like a motherfucker though. His natural ability is off the chain. His range is off the hook, just like his rhymes. You know, Mos is a institution. He ain't even a star. That nigga's he's like a fucking church.
He's different.
For real, a mosque. Pardon me, like a mosque. You know, Mos is exactly what it is. He got the right first name, Mos.
Mos Def.
Yeah.
And acting, and you as well. And I was happy for you, even though you don't need me to be happy for you.
I
But
appreciate
when they announced that you was in Power, Mary's in Power, and I was like, fucking right. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel we gotta salute our legends, our leaders, and whenever they get something going, what up, DJ Drama? Whenever you do something successful or something dope, I'm proud for you. Even though I'm not there every day, I'm like, fuck that. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And so what has that been like? The Power thing is this. So it's like you ain't never scared. You got confidence. Mary got confidence. But coming off a show that was a spinoff off a show that was so epic, Power.
Yeah.
This shit gotta be dope.
It does. You know, it gives you a bit of anxiety. I got the part that I got. I mean, I've been in courtrooms before, but as the way a lawyer walks and talks, I don't know that language. I don't know that walk. So for me, my research was more or less like find the human side and build on that. You know? So you find the human side of these people outside of the courthouse. So what do? Or they drink their They what do they do after that? They go home, they have dinner. If they have a significant other, they probably, have sex with their wife, or maybe not. Maybe they like playing video games later on that night. So many different layers. So by the time you do go in front of the camera, you're grounded enough with so much of a backstory on this character that you bring that forth in your performance. It's a weird, tricky kind of thing, and it took me a minute to catch on to it, to make it, taste right for me, to season it enough so that I felt comfortable doing it. But you should never get too comfortable, because
Locked myself in a hotel room, a little hotel room. It looked like a crackhead room. And I was just going over, practicing lines and lines and lines. And I would just go, and I would go hard. But let me tell you something. It wasn't until the second season that somebody I really respect, an actress on
lot of us are right now. And the fact that they do the work and still can't get these jobs, you have to respect the fact that you have to show up to work every day on time. Especially for those actors and actresses that didn't get that part because you got it. Because they would have did the work. They would have showed up on time. Not just showing up on time, but they would have showed up ready to engage in this scene. And
I had a conversation with somebody I respect from acting one time, and they told me that they do it for the art. You know what I mean? And they really, I could tell, they didn't tell me, but I could tell they got really mad at me when I said, yo, I do it for the money. And she didn't understand. Part, I go up in there,
right,
me with a white light with fucking 4 white people, and I gotta do the part. You know, that shit is nerve-wracking.
That shit is nerve-wracking as fuck.
They give you a fucking 30 pages and tell you, yo, come tomorrow, we want you to try out. You go in there, it's an all-white room with like 5 white people staring at you, and you doing the hood part, or whatever the case may be. You're supposed to pop. You know, I'm Mexican, you know, I'm gonna roll up on it. Like, the shit is just mad weird, right?
Yeah, it is.
It ain't like when you show up at Belly and Nas is in the role, it ain't like that. It's like you in a room. It's almost like you getting, you know, I'm trying to crack this acting game. You know, I go all out from A to Z, but I'm trying to bust that bitch open.
And because people out there getting 30 million a movie.
Yeah, they want the art. She wants to be, you know, the art. I'm like, no, I want the bag. You know, I'm gonna go all out.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between theater actors and movie actors, and a lot of theater actors do not money as opposed to doing it for the art, because that's what they truly are. They're artists. And if you could ever get your hands on something where you could do a play, do that shit. I would love to see where your mind would take some shit, because, brother, I mean, all facets of hip hop is there in you. You've been around this shit since the 80s, brother. I could pull up. Come on, brother.
Lord Finesse being my, you know, he's my inspiration. You know, Finesse come from my projects, and he kept telling me he gonna make it rapping, and I was in the streets. I ain't believe him, but when I heard his music, sometimes you gotta see shit to believe it. When I heard his music on the radio and read a But we always looked at, or well, at least me, I always looked at Finesse as the franchise player of Digging the Grave. To this day. So, like, if we get together and we do a project now, I still look at Finesse like he's the franchise player.
Right.
Yeah. I'm the nigga that locked up. You know what I mean? I'm the wild card. You know what I mean? Like, Finesse was always the most lyrical, the guy we looked up to. And Joe just a wild card. I don't think nobody can listen to Fat Joe, Flo Joe, and stop the tape, pause it, and be like, yo, this nigga's gonna have Lean Back all the way up, all these records in the future. He might discover Big Pun. Like, nobody thought that. Like, you know what I mean? It was more like,
well, I mean, we could have said that about a lot of us, man. It was your drive, though. The drive is what made everything fall into place. And as you went on, you seen things a whole lot different as experiences went on. Pen game got sharper. Things started coming into perspective. Business mindsets in. You have a family now. It's like I got to provide for them. And then you look back, and this is what we don't do enough. We got to reflect on the shit we did and look in the mirror and say, I'm a bad motherfucker. Look at this shit. I did all this. I did this.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Because this getting old shit, I don't like it. I'm being honest. I don't know about you. I don't like it. I was telling my wife today, I said, I don't like this shit.
I think I'm getting better, boy. I'm telling you. Exercise is the key.
No, I see you cock diesel.
I ain't playing with
it. You caught that cock diesel bug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You in there hard.
But you know what did it for me? What's crazy? What did it for me? Not to cut you off, but what did it for me was I seen Son from Geechee Suede fuck. I'm mad at myself.
What, huh?
Yeah, my G.
They was ahead of their time, Camp Low. They was ahead of their time.
Yo, I ran into these dudes overseas, right? And I'm talking to the brown skin dude, the one that he an ill brother. He talk ill as fuck.
Nasty boy.
Nasty. Talk about it, right? Nasty as fuck. So I'm talking to him.
We've been talking. Man, they were supposed to.
I see the other dude every now and then and shit, and the same shit happens every time. I'm standing there, I'm talking to my guy, you know, toothpick in the mouth. He killing it right now. And after 15 minutes, I'm like, yo, where your man at? The nigga was standing there the whole time.
I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make him feel depressed. But he was supposed to be a giant in this game, like a giant.
Yeah.
Like their swag was on 10 million.
Way ahead of their time. Like, way ahead of their time.
Beyond. When I hear that shit now, when the shit come on, I just be like, oh my God, every time. Crazy right here, man. It's out of control. So,
low, baby.
Oh, my brother, I'm gonna let you go, man. You gave me some beautiful time. I fuck with you, man. I'm sorry.
My wife it left the dogs out the rain. Pardon me, man. It's all good.
Hey, yo, man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm sorry because I don't know if it was just a rumor, but when we did John Blaze, we took your voice and we put it in there, and I had Nas and Pun and Ray, and little Birdie got back to me and was like, yo, Meth was mad you ain't give him a verse on that joint. Is there any truth to that rumor, or
ain't no truth to that shit right there? I was rooting for Ray.
I was hoping Ray.
Yeah.
She was in Belly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, her first joint was Broad Scale.
Yes, see, you know what I mean? Oh,
remember,
before we go any further, I just got to say this, guy. Houdini, one of the most slept-on duos of all time. Ecstasy? Listen, go back and listen to his rhymes. Go back and listen. Big Mouth. Listen to his rhymes on Big Mouth. Listen to his rhymes on The Freaks Come Out, especially The Freaks Come Out at Night. Nigga is nasty.
How many of us have them?
Come on.
Friends.
Come on. Houdini was that lick, B. I'm tired of people not giving them their roses. I'm giving it to them now. Houdini, y'all first album was monster.
I agree.
Monster. Even the second album, Funky Beat.
Hooks in hip hop. Well, the song's one of the greatest ones, but that hook from A to Z. Like, how did you come up? You was just in the studio, and that's what came. Cream, you broke it down.
I was at my boy Each. I was with my boy Each B. May he rest. And we was at Weebay house. The dude that played Weebay, Hassan. We was at Hassan's house, and his dad had this record, and I forgot the artist's name, but that was the record. Dollar Bill, y'all. Dollar Bill, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Dollar.
Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar bill, y'all.
Of every word, different words and shit like that. And he came up with Cash Rule. He used to write me letters from jail and shit. And he came up with the Cash Rules everything around me. You know what I mean? And that, it just fit perfect. It was perfect that I had that experience there, and I brought that shit to the studio, and the rest is just history, you know? I used to be a hook writing motherfucker.
Yeah. Ain't that some shit? You know that's the hardest thing to do in a record as an artist, is hooks. There's plenty of rappers that can rap and spit all the bars they want, but don't have what it takes to make a hit hook.
Right, you know about that, bro.
That's the hardest thing to do. So whenever any rapper was coming up and they tell me, yo, Joe, let me spit, I'd be like, yo, tell me your hook. I want it, because anybody spit bars.
Bars all day.
Well, who can make a hook? Who
and that's exactly what it's there for.
Who can make
the
it
hook.
Cash Rule everything around me? I want to hear the hook.
Supposed to hook you and get you for real. It's supposed to. You know what I mean?
Man,
but
I love you. Thank you for your time,
I love you
my
too,
brother.
brother.
We all gonna be tuned into power, baby.
Yeah.
All right, stay up.
Peace, God.